So we're looking at this question here. Okay. The data below shows prices and quantities of commodities consumed by a household in 2021 and 2022. Okay, so colleagues, in 2021, we've got the price, we've got the quantity. In 2022, we've got the price, and also here we have the quantity. The items that we have: printing paper, envelopes, pens. Okay. So using 2020 as the base year, calculate the following indices interpreting your result in each case. Okay. So, colleagues, this question is focused on inflation. Okay. Whenever you hear this word, index numbers, this is a number that represents a group of things. Okay. It's one number that represents a group of things. Okay, so this index number can be used to track inflation. Okay, yes. So the base year is the year of reference. Okay, so they said 20. Now here they don't have any 2020, so it should be a typo error. We use 2021. Okay, 2021 is the base year. Okay, because we don't have any prices and quantities for 2020, so we cannot use 2020. Okay, colleagues. Yes. So 2021 is the base year. It's going to be the year of reference. Okay. To calculate last Perez quantity index, Pash's quantity index, and Fisher's price index. So let me define what each of these things mean. Okay. So last Perez quantity index, okay, measures how the quantity of goods has changed from the base year to the current year, using base year prices as weight. Okay, so here, this quantity index, we're measuring the quantity of goods to see how it has changed. Are people buying more of these goods? Are people buying less of these goods? All right. Yes. Then Pash quantity index. Okay. Same thing. You're measuring how the quantity of goods has changed. Okay, but it's what is used as your weights is different. Okay. In Las Pairs, it's the base year prices that are your weights. In Pashes, it's the current year prices that are your weights. Okay, colleagues, both of them are tracking how the quantity of goods have changed. But um, what's different is the prices that we're using. Okay, so this is how one way you can remember it. Okay, so with last Pairs quantity index, quantities are compared using old base prices. With Pash's quantity index, quantities are compared using current prices. Okay, so one use base prices, one is going to use current prices. Okay, so when you hear the word base prices, it means we're going to use the prices for 2021 when evaluating the quantities. We're using 2021 prices. Okay, for 2021 and 2022. Right? Then when we use current prices for 2021, we're using 2021's prices. For 2022, we're using 2022's prices. So colleagues, this is how you do this question, okay? So that you never get confused with it. Okay? Yes. 2021 is our base year. So have you seen how we've labeled the price? PO. Okay? PO means price for the base year. Okay. Quantity. Have you seen the quantity for the base year? Yeah, we've used Q. O, right? Q O. This means this is the quantity for the base year, which is 2021. Okay. Then 2022, we're going to label it. The prices for 2022 are P1, and the quantities for 2022 are labeled as Q1. Okay. So in this table, what's going to be happening here, colleagues? Okay, is we're going to multiply each year's prices. When put it like this, let me say, okay, yes. The first row, we're multiplying 2021's prices with 2021's quantities. Have you seen this POQO here? We're multiplying 2021's, oops, yes, multiplying 2021's prices with 2021's quantities. Then have you seen here this POQ1? Okay, we're multiplying, we're using 2021's prices with 2022's quantities. Okay, so notice what has happened here. We've used the prices for 2021 with the quantities for 2021. Then again, we've used the price for 2021 with the quantities for 2022. Okay. So what's happening in this table is you're just going to multiply each price with all the quantities. Basic. That's what's happening here, colleagues. You're going to multiply each price with all the quantities. All right. Yes. So here, as I said, PO Q1, you're multiplying the 2021 price with the quantities over 2022. Right? Then here, this one is supposed to be P1 Q0. Okay. You're using 2022's prices to multiply with 2021's quantities. Okay. This P1 Q0, right? You're multiplying 2022's prices with 2021's quantities. Okay. And then this P1 Q1, you're multiplying 2022's prices with 2022's quantities. Okay. So colleagues, I hope we see the trick here. Each price you're going to multiply it with the quantities for both years. Okay. As you can see, P0 Q0, P0 Q1. Okay. Then here P1 Q0, P1 Q1. Okay. That's how you're going to make your table. Okay. Because once you make this table, it's going to be easy to put in the formula when you come to the formula. You already have all this information in the table. Okay, so you just have to make these four columns. Now, before I proceed, any questions? Or should we do the individual multiplication so that we get a feel of what is happening? Let me put this in Excel so that as you see me do it, you are going to grasp it more, because I feel the way I've done it there, it was a shortcut. So let me use the long cut. Is that okay, colleagues? Did you feel like I used a shortcut there? Madam Esnot, did you feel like that was a shortcut that I used? Okay. Mr. Godfrey, did you feel that was a shortcut? Okay, it was a shortcut. Okay, let's use the long cut so that we see the whole process here. Okay, and let me make sure it never changes. 1.42, 0.58. Okay, so you're going to start with your first column, all right? Yes, POQ0. So basically, we're multiplying 2021's prices with 2021's quantities. So 1.58 multiplied by 80, we get 123.2. Right? 2 multiplied by 35, we get 70. Okay. 0.58 multiplied by 15, we get 8.7. Colleagues, any questions on here? Okay. Next, we're using 2021 prices to multiply them with 2022 quantities. Have you seen this? P0Q1, 2021 prices multiplied by 2022 quantities. Okay. So the price here, 1.54 multiplied by 2022's quantity of 72, the 110.88. The price of 2021 for envelopes, 2 kwacha multiplied by the quantity of envelopes for 2022, and it is there. The price for the pens for 2021 and multiplying it with the quantity of pens in 2022, 8.7 there. Are we okay with this, colleagues? Any questions? Okay. Okay. So next, now we're going to use 2022's prices to multiply them with 2021 quantities and 2022 quantities. Okay, colleagues? Yes, so 2022's prices. Have you seen this P1Q0? Oops, maybe purple is too dark. So we're multiplying 2022's prices with 2021 quantities. Okay. So here, the price of printing paper in 2022, you're multiplying with the quantity of printing paper in 2021. The price of envelopes in 2022 multiplied by the quantity of envelopes for price for envelopes 2022 multiplied by quantity of envelopes for 2021. Price for pens in 2022 multiplied by the quantity of pens in 2021. Okay, colleagues? Yes. So just remember the secret here is this. The prices for each year, you're going to multiply it by the quantities for all the years. Okay, if there was a third year here, we would have expanded our thing. Okay, so just remember this key, colleagues. The price for each year will be multiplied by the quantities for the other years, or all the years, basically. You see? So now we're going with the price of 2022 multiplied by the quantity of 2022. Okay. Yes. So printing paper, the price 1.65, the quantity 72. All right. Envelopes price in 2022 is 1.75. The quantity in 2022 is 40. Pens price 0.62, quantity 15 here, 9.3. Okay, colleagues, any questions so far? Any questions? Okay, so we get the totals here. Okay, we get the totals here. We add here. We get this total here. We add here. We get the total there. Right. We get the totals for each column so that we can now calculate these price indices. Okay, so we're now going to use the formula to get first our last pairs quantity index. Okay, we're just seeing how quantities have changed over the years using the base prices. Okay, so have you seen the formula here? Okay, in the formula here, you can see, since we said we're using base prices to measure how quantities have changed, have you seen we're using PO here and PO here? Okay, so the price is this has been maintained the same because you want to see how the quantity of goods has changed. So price stays the same. Okay, then as you can see here, Q1 and Q0 here. I've seen the quantities are changing. Okay, so last pairs quantity index is the summation of PO Q1 divided by the summation of PO QO. Okay, colleagues, are we okay with the codes or do I need to break down the codes? This PO QO, PO price of thing 2021, Q1 quantity of 2022. PO price of 2021, QO quantity of 2021. Okay, so summation of PO Q1 divided by summation of PO Q0. So you just go to your table. PO Q1 is here. Okay, so you get the value 199.58. Okay, then 199.58. Okay, and POQO, have you seen here? 201.9. Okay, so in our formula here, have you seen? Summation of POQ1, 199 point, okay, I rounded it off to 6 here, 199.6, divided by summation of POQO, which is this 201.9 here. Okay, multiplied by 100. So 199.6 divided by 201.9, we get 0.9886. Okay, 0.9886 multiplied by 100, we get 98.86. Okay, so now this is not 98 98.86%. Okay, colleagues, these are base numbers. Okay, base numbers also, the the point of reference for base numbers is 100. Okay, think of it like this: for base numbers, point of reference is 100. Okay, anything below 100, any index number below 100, there is a decrease. Okay, either in quantity or price. It depends on which index you are using. Any number above 100 represents an increase. Okay, this is how it is with base numbers. Okay, 100 is your point of reference. Okay, so in our question here, they've told us that our last pairs quantity index is 99.8. Okay, 98.86. Okay, so since our point of reference is 100, you say 100 minus 98.86 is 1.14. So what this 1.14 is telling us that quantity consumption has decreased by 1.14% from 2021 to 2022. Any questions? Okay, so now we're going to Pash its quantity index. Want to see how quantity has changed using current year's prices. Okay, remember this one was base year prices, last pairs, Pash's current year prices. Okay, so here on the formula, it's P1, Q1. Okay, price for 2022 multiplied by quantity for 2022 over summation of P1 Q0. So notice here, unlike last pairs, we were using base year prices. Here we're using current year prices. Current year is 2022. That's why we're using P1. Okay, 2022 is our current year. 2021 is the base year. Okay. So the prices are what's this? We're using 2022 prices. In the previous example, we're using 2021 prices. Okay. Then Q1, remember it represents quantity for year two, current year. Q0 quantity for year one, base year. So if we come to our table, summation of P1 Q1. Okay, summation of P1 Q1, 198.1. Okay, over summation of P1 Q0, 202.55. Okay, so this 198.1 divided by 20.55. Okay, you're going to get 198.1. Okay, this one I rounded it off. Okay, so let's just put here. Yes. So you see 198.1 divided by 202.6, you're going to get 0.9778. Multiply that by 100, 97.78. So this index number is less than 100. Okay, so one find out what was the drop in quantity. 100 minus 97.78. Okay, and you get 2.22, which tells us quantity consumption has decreased by 2.2% from 2021 to 2022. Any questions? Okay, colleagues, then here, okay, we have to get the Fisher price index. So now this price index, the quantity index was measuring quantity changes. Okay. Now the price index is measuring price changes. Okay. We're measuring price changes. Okay. So this Fisher price index is an average of two other price indices. Okay. You've got last pairs price index and Pash's price index. Okay. So let me define this for you. Okay, last pairs price index, not quantity index, yes, now price index. Okay, prices compared using old or the base year's quantities. Okay, here we're measuring price change using base year quantities. Okay, Pash is price index. Okay, we're measuring price changes compared using current quantities. Okay, colleagues, these things it's just you're just flipping things. Okay, yes. So this is a formula for last pairs price thing index. Okay, so if you can see in the formula here, okay, since we're comparing price change with base year quantities, have you seen the quantities are fixed here? Okay, the quantity stays fixed. Okay, since we're measuring price change, so the price change is the only thing that's changing. As you can see, PO here and P1. Okay, so with last pairs price index, you're measuring price changes using the base year's quantities. Okay, so we're using 2021's quantities to measure the price change. Okay, we're saying that okay, if we imagine the people don't change how much they buy of a certain good, want to see how price changes, want to see the effect on the price changes. Okay. So on our table, okay, summation of P1 Q0. Okay, so you go here. Summation of P1 Q0, this one, 202.6. And here, 202.6 over summation of POQO. Okay, POQO, as you can see here, 201.9. Okay, 201.9. So where is this? Yes. So you say 202.6 divided by 201.9 times 100, you get 1.00347. Okay, if you multiply that by 100, you get 100.347. Okay, this is our index number. How we interpret this, you say 103.47 minus 100. Remember, as I said earlier on, with index numbers, 100 is the reference. So 100.347 minus 100, you get 0.347. And it means price has increased by 0.347%. Okay, yes. But this is not needed for Fisher's price index. We only just need this base number here. Okay, yes. But I just wanted to interpret for you so that we're understanding these things. Yes. Then for purchase price index, remember we're measuring price change, okay, with the current year's quantities. Okay, price change with the current year's quantities. So we're using 2022's quantities. Okay, 2022's quantities. Okay, as you can see, the quantity is fixed so that you can monitor the price change. Okay, yes. So for purchase price index, the summation of P1 Q1, okay, divided by summation of PO Q1. So P1 Q1, the summation 198.1, and PO Q1 199.58. Okay, so 198.1. Make sure that's P1 Q1 is 198.1. Okay, 198.1 divided by 199.58. Okay, you get let me finish up this calculation here. 198.1 divided by 199.58, you get 0.9925. Okay, 0.9925 times 100, then you get 99.25. Okay, so how we interpret this 99.25? You say 99.25 minus 100, you get thing. Yes, you get negative 0.75. Oh yes, colleagues, one thing I forgot to mention is even here when I was doing this, you put your index number minus 100 so that when you get a negative number, you even know that, okay, it's a decrease. So here, so always use that format, okay, colleagues? Your index number minus 100 so that a negative will represent a drop. Okay, so Where did I also, where else did I put it? Yes, even here, let me put it like this, 99.869. Your index number minus 100. So that when you see a negative number, you know there's a decrease. Okay. Yes. So here what we're saying is price has dropped. Okay. Price has dropped by 0.5%. By 0.75% from 2021 to 2022. Any questions before we now find Fisher's price index, which is just a multiplication of these two, and then you get the square root. Okay, so Fisher's price index is the pairs price index multiplied by Parsh's price index. Okay, the pairs price index, we got what is 100.347. 100.347. Parsh's price index 99.25. Okay. When you multiply these 100.347 multiplied by 99.25, yes, we get 9,959.439. Oops. Then we get the square root. Square root of 9,959.439. And you get 99.79. Okay, 99.79. This is our index number. So 99.79 minus 100, we get negative 0.21, which tells us price has decreased by 0.21% from 2021 to 2022. Yes. So colleagues, that's how you do this price and quantity indices basically. Just remember, an index number is one number that represents a group of things. Okay, so these numbers here, which we're calculating for the price and quantity index, what they're representing is these printing papers, envelopes, and pens. Okay, so an index number is a number that represents a group of things. Okay, then a quantity index, remember, it just measures changes in the quantity from the base year to another year. Okay, then a price index changes in price from another year to a base year. Okay, so let's see, even as I said, the formula will be given to you. Okay, yes. So here where there is n, it's just one. Okay, where I was putting a one. Okay, P1, Q0 here. Where there's an n, okay, it's where I'm using the ones here. Okay. Actually, I should have used n's in this video, but yes, where you see n, just know it's the other year. Where you see a zero, this is the base year. Okay. And the secret to this type of questions, remember,